Hi everyone and welcome to Joe Reviews. Today we'll be looking at Apple's biggest update, and I mean that in the physical sense, to the Apple Watch in a couple years. With a bigger display than their $800 Apple Watch Ultra, the Series 10 has made some decent upgrades compared to previous versions. A couple key features include thinnest Apple Watch yet, largest ever display for an Apple Watch, new sleep apnea detection, new depth and water temperature sensors, fastest charging Apple Watch yet, new colors and titanium case options, same starting price of $399, plus much more. These updates were enough to convince me to trade in my Series 8 Apple Watch and upgrade to the 46mm Series 10. One of the new features really surprised me how much of an impact it made in my daily usage, but the question remains, is the Series 10 worth upgrading to? I'll cover that and more. Let's get into it. Also, please subscribe if you haven't already. First, the unboxing. A little different experience than most Apple unboxings. As you pull these tabs to open the main box, inside are two more boxes, one for the watch and the other for the band. Just pull out the tape on the boxes to reveal what's inside. In the watch box is a 1-meter USB-C to magnetic fast charger. Beside the cable lies the watch inside a little pouch. I went with the jet black aluminum watch. Inside the band box is literally just the band along with instructions for installing the bands on the watch. Apple offers 10 different colors for the sport band, but it doesn't feel like enough. I wish there were a few more options. Which, as a side note, there were rumors that the Series 10 would feature this new magnetic band attachment system, but the bands still just slide into the watch to connect. I think this new jet black aluminum finish looks amazing. I wear this watch about 22 to 23 hours a day, and the finish is holding up well. I haven't noticed any scratches in the case, and I'm never that careful with my watches. I'm usually accidentally bumping into something with my wrist, but so far it's proven durable. Previously, to get the glossy look, you'd have to purchase the stainless steel watch. I've always liked the glossy look, but didn't think it was worth spending extra money for something I'd probably only keep for a couple of years. Apple states they are able to achieve this glossy look by polishing the watch with nanoparticles until it's extremely reflective, and then it goes through a 30-step anodization process. The other colors for the aluminum watch have their typical matte finish look. The Series 10 also comes with a titanium finish, which is new this year, and replaces the stainless steel option. However, that option starts off at $699 and doesn't offer a Wi-Fi only option. As mentioned before, the display is not only larger, but the largest Apple currently offers on a watch. Apple says this year's wide-angle OLED display is a first for any Apple product. The advantage of this is each pixel is optimized to emit more light at wider angles. This allows the display to be up to 40% brighter when viewing from an angle. I'll have to take their word on that, as I don't have my old watch to compare it to, but I can't say it's something that really stuck out when upgrading to the Series 10. Peak brightness is 2000 nits, which is the same as the Series 9, and below 3000 for the Ultra. Despite the increase in size, Apple states the watch is 10% lighter than previous models. While that's true for the Wi-Fi and cellular option, for the Wi-Fi only option, it's closer to 6% lighter. The titanium models are close to 20% lighter than their stainless steel counterparts. The Series 10 is also about 10% thinner as well. Apple was able to integrate the metal back and antenna into one layer, versus previously being in two layers. While it's nice to have a larger, brighter display and a lighter, thinner watch, I can't say any of these upgrades have been standout features to me. Throughout my days of use, the screen size is somewhat noticeably larger, but only when I'm playing with the watch for an extended period of time. The weight and thinness, I don't notice hardly any difference. Also, new to the Apple Watch this year is a faster refresh rate. Instead of going from once a minute, it now refreshes the display once a second. The cool thing about this is it allows the ticking seconds hand to be seen without having to raise your wrist. This is something I haven't even really thought about, but when I read this as a new feature, I was pretty excited for it. So I added a couple new watch faces with a second hand to test out, and it wasn't showing up on the screen when I didn't raise it to wake. I didn't know what was going on here. Here to find out, the visible ticking second hand only works on two of the new watch faces from Apple, Reflections and Flux. I love the idea and the way this is headed, but wished it worked for all the watch faces with a second hand. Hopefully we'll see this applied to other watch faces through a future update. Apple Watch's Achilles heel has always been its battery life. Other competitors such as Garmin or Coros can have up to potentially days of battery life, versus the Series 10's 18-hour battery life that Apple has advertised. Now, that 18-hour battery life is made on some assumptions that Apple thinks replicates a typical day's use, such as 300 time checks, 15-minute app usage, 90 notifications, plus a 60-minute workout with music playback from the watch. During my daily use, I've been able to achieve way better results than this, but I think mainly due to not playing music back directly from the watch, but rather from my phone. Typically, I charge my watch before bed and go to sleep with 100% battery life. When I wake up in the morning, I'm usually at 86% charge after about a 7-hour sleep. I'll go for a run anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes and just typical wear throughout the day. After work, I do a strength training workout with the watch. By the end of the day, I usually have over 30% battery life remaining. Just doing some rough math on where I'm typically at by the end of the day, I could theoretically get 34 to 36 hours of battery life based on my usage. I'm pretty happy with those results. I don't ever worry about my watch dying at any point in the day. Which this leads me to what I probably love most about the Apple Watch, and that's the fast charging feature. Apple claims the Series 10 is Apple's fastest charging watch. I mentioned before about the back combining 2 layers into one, but it also includes a larger, more efficient charging coil. This allows the watch to charge to 8 hours of daily use in 15 minutes, or 8 hours of sleep tracking in 8 minutes. The battery can reach 80% in 30 minutes. I love how fast the charging is on the Series 10. To me, this alone is probably my favorite feature about the Apple Watch. I can pretty much fully charge my watch at the time it takes me to shower, brush my teeth, and get ready for bed. Which, speaking of bedtime, there are some new features for tracking sleep. The new Vitals app with watchOS 11 helps you see key health metrics while you sleep. These include heart rate, respiratory rate, wrist temp, and sleep duration. While this isn't unique just to the Series 10, I like that I can quickly check if there were any anomalies in my last night's sleep. The biggest new feature for sleep this year is sleep apnea detection. Apple says this condition is estimated to impact more than 1 billion people worldwide and goes mostly undiagnosed. Apple Watch is able to detect sleep apnea through the accelerometer, which monitors small wrist movements that are associated with interruptions in normal respiratory patterns. Apple keeps track of these interruptions through a new metric called breathing disturbances. Some breathing disturbances can be normal. However, disturbances that occur frequently over several nights can be associated with sleep apnea. These breathing disturbances can be found in the Health app and are classified as elevated or not elevated. Here you can view disturbances for the last month, 6 months, or year. If your watch detects signs of sleep apnea, it will notify you and provide a PDF of breathing disturbance details that you can share with your doctor. To receive a sleep apnea detection notification, you would have had to have had elevated breathing disturbances over the last 30 days. Since I haven't had the watch for 30 days yet, I haven't received a notification on this, but look forward to seeing what data the watch provides as far as breathing disturbances. A couple new apps and features for the Apple Watch are the Tides app and Depth app. The Tides app, which is useful for people who live in coastal areas or plan to visit coastal areas, gives you more information on changing tidal conditions. While I think the app might be more for a small niche when compared to the market overall for the Apple Watch, I can see where it would be helpful for those who plan on surfing or some other water activities. The Depth app, which was previously only available for the Apple Watch Ultra, now works with the Series 10 also. It'll display current time, current depth, and maximum depth, along with time you've been underwater and water temp. Like the Tides app, the Depth app is for a narrow audience, although I like that they added a water temp sensor on the Series 10, so I can now see how cold my ice baths are. Those are the main new updates and features for the Apple Watch. As I mentioned before, during a typical day, I'm starting off with a run on the treadmill. I'm basically using my watch for the heart rate capabilities during the run and to see what heart rate zone I'm in. I'm then using it to check current outside temp and what the high will be for the day, just so I know what to wear a pack. Then during the day, I'm just using it like a normal watch to check the time. Occasionally using it to see what my heart rate is like during the day. I like wearing it as much as possible to mainly keep track of my heart rate and to see long-term trends. I've noticed over the past year since I started running, my resting heart rate has dropped from about 50 beats per minute to the 42 to 44 beats per minute range. I like seeing progress in anything I do, and being able to track my heart rate allows me to see it trending in the right direction and keeps me motivated to keep running when I don't want to. Then after work, I'm using it for functional exercise workout. Basically, I'm again keeping track of my heart rate, but also my workout time as my routine doesn't change much, and I can see if I'm falling behind. Then I charge it for about 45 minutes, and I wear it to bed to keep track of my sleep. I haven't noticed any changes in long-term trends when it comes to sleep, but it is nice to check the previous night's sleep to see when I was awake or how much time I spent in each sleep stage. I recently reviewed the iPad Air and thought it's a great tablet, but didn't offer enough changes in the 5 years since my last iPad. With the Series 10 watch, I'm fairly impressed with the updates in the last couple years. No huge leaps and upgrades, as is usually the case with most tech these days, but with the Series 10, I'm happy with the larger display. It's an update I was hoping would trickle down from the $800 Apple Watch Ultra. Plus, with the watch slimming down and losing some weight, it all helps make the watch less noticeable when wearing on your wrist all day. As mentioned before, the thing Apple Watch gets picked on the most is its battery life. It won't provide multiple days of use without charging like some others, but it really doesn't take long to charge it. 0 to 80% in 30 minutes. For me, I can live with that if it means not having to spend an extra $300 to $400 for the Ultra or some Garmin watches. Overall, I'm happy I upgraded from the Series 8 to the Series 10. It provided enough updates over my 2-year-old watch to make it feel like I was getting something truly better and advanced than my previous watch. I think it's Apple's best watch update in years, and maybe just their best product update in years. This doesn't mean it's not without its faults. As just mentioned, people who want the multiple day use between charging will still not be happy with the Series 10. I'm sure some people would prefer Apple keep the thickness and increase the battery life. The upgrade to the display refresh rate is great to see, but only 2 watch faces really taking advantage of it is disappointing. There were a lot of rumors about this new watch and how it was going to be this huge upgrade for the 10th anniversary that for the most part hasn't come true. However, it's great to see the progress made with the Series 10. If I had to rate it, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. That's it for my review on the Apple Watch Series 10. Let me know what you think. Am I way off track calling this Apple's best upgrade in years, or do you think Apple hit it out of the park with the Series 10? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll catch you for the next review.